Hey guys, welcome back to another What If. Today we're doing part 2 to What If Naruto Could Use Magic version 2. If you want to know what in the last part 1, then there'll be a link in the description down below which takes you to a place where you can of course watch part 1 and any other part that gets added into this series. And also guys, there will also be a link to the old playlist, so the old version, so version 1 if you want to watch that. And yeah, anyway, so let's get into this. Years would roll by as Naruto would now be 12. He'd be sitting in class kind of waiting for his sensei and other classmates to arrive. Yes, he'd been early. Today was the day that he would find out what team he would be placed on and whom his sensei would be. He would somewhat hope to Kami that his sensei was Hatake Kakashi, as somewhat him and Naruto had kind of grown closer together over the years since Naruto was somewhat 6 and they'd first gone to Uzugakure, the remnants of Uzugakure, and to the library. Of course, during that time they had found out that the reason why Nandi could find the library is because they were walking on top of it. In a way, it was built within a mountain, with somewhat the actual kind of Simile mountain face still being there, and that only Uzumakis could walk through it, and for a non-Uzumaki like Kakashi to walk through it, Naruto had to kind of hold Kakashi either by the hand or by the arm and bring him through. How that worked? Well, obviously it wouldn't want to kind of kill someone. It wasn't designed to kill someone, so it allowed the person to walk through. And yeah. Anyway, though Naruto would be kind of looking out the window as somewhat he'd kind of start to daydream. Not really daydream in a way, but mainly kind of remember the past, more so when he was about when he was somewhat 11 years old. What happened? Well, or at least when he was 10, he and Kakashi, more so he had decided that it would be their last trip to Uzugakure, as their trip he'd spent a week in Uzugakure, or at least that was what they were allowed, a week in Uzugakure, and then to come back to the village. And yeah, though pretty much Naruto had read or at least had somewhat reached the limit of or at least had somewhat reached the library's kind of, in other words, limits to help. So he could learn more and more about the history of magic and, well, mana, but that isn't going to help him because there's no they don't really have any kind of ideas to help him when it comes to bettering his mana control. Though the reason why he was going now at 11, well, he kind of needed to know something he didn't kind of quite remember. No, he knew the mana network and chakra network are the two. They are exactly the same. Just the mana network is, or at least the chakra. Well, yeah, when chakra came, obviously started coming around, the mana network. The mana was shut off. And that was the body could no longer naturally pull in nature energy, and it kind of used its own internal energies, mixing both physical and mental energies together to form chakra. And yeah, anyway, though, at least that's kind of how it's developed for humans. Someone like Kage and that will probably have a slightly different, altered network due to something different. And yeah, anyway, though he went there because he couldn't, or at least he was trying to remember if mana was like chakra, somewhat, his chakra, if you was somewhat, obviously, when you use the outer chakra, aka say a Taoist Beast's chakra, obviously somewhat they slowly become, as they use more of the Taoist Beast's chakra, they become more of the Taoist Beast, to the point where they physically are the Taoist Beast, just not mentally. Physically they are, mentally they're not. So yeah, there's a Taoist Beast transformation. And yeah, and Naruto wasn't 100% sure if that worked, because that was down to a kind of not really DNA based somewhat way. It was more kind of, or at least obviously wasn't exactly kind of sure as somewhat like if, well yeah, it's kind of how chakra worked. Was it by a DNA kind of base, or was it by a more kind of like if your physical and mental genders both line up, does it not obviously someone change you? And or those say you being physically female, or well mentally female and physically male, with the chakra kind of somewhat form breasts, or would it not? He wasn't exactly sure, and he knew a book that did have the answer, he just couldn't remember it, though he wasn't sure if chakra was the one that went by DNA, obviously chromosome. So if you was born with 2 X's and a Y, it may kind of give you a more feminine body, in average breasts, hips, more softer voice. And well, yeah, so XY, more or less male, and well, yeah, double XY, probably more female wise. Somewhat manner, somewhat did happen, and yeah, so Naruto somewhat went down and very much did discover, or at least somewhat that, or at least somewhat it did describe that, or at least chakra was more kind of just somewhat, if your both if your gender, both physical and mental genders didn't match, it will try to match it. It can't really somewhat flip your reproduction organs, but it can at least somewhat lower the overall kind of somewhat gap between those, and yeah, somewhat lighten the dysphoria. And yeah, while somewhat manner, it didn't work. Well, it didn't work in that way. If you did have some dysphoria, so physically male, mentally female, it could actually flip your biological somewhat gender. In other words, you could go from being male to, or at least being physically male, to being a somewhat female that can give birth if impregnated, of course, when somewhat you are fertile. And yeah, anyway, so somewhat Naruto, of course, with that kind of somewhat Peldy did, of course, somewhat also told Kakashi, and up until this point only he and Kakashi knew of it, as somewhat Hizen told them that the, obviously like Naruto's mana thing, that the least amount of people knew, the better. So yeah, of course, Kakashi would say that Naruto would have to tell anyone. Somewhat Kakashi would be quiet, he wouldn't say nothing to anyone. And yeah, Naruto, of course, someone thanked him, and yeah. Though that's kind of why, and so, well, yeah. So, of course, somewhat it would make sense for, obviously, thus Kakashi to be Naruto's somewhat sensei, because he knew Naruto had magic, mana, after all, as the somewhat least amount of people that know, the better. Though, of course, all 3 of them know that Naruto's mana, somewhat, or at least somewhat mana slash mad, somewhat being a somewhat not having chakra, but mana will eventually come out, and both Kakashi and Naruto knew that his actual kind of somewhat more feminine somewhat body would also be revealed. And yeah, they just didn't know which one would be first, so both Naruto and Kakashi kind of believed that his probably body would be first, than the mana and that. And yeah, anyway, though, they somewhat kind of shake his head as somewhat to clear his thoughts, and as he'd as somewhat is kind of, as he'd get back to the now, he'd then all of a sudden hear a loud voice. He'd immediately recognise it and somewhat cringe. It was his sensei using his somewhat big head no jutsu. Yeah, he was clearly somewhat shouting at while the fangirls and looking to the side, dude. Only somewhat looking slightly sideways. Somewhat just enough to see Sasuke in his, like, the edge of his view. Sasuke was sitting right by him. And yeah, no wonder why. Yeah. Anyway, though, from there, time would pass, and somewhat before he knew it, an hour, and of course, though, now that somewhat had been, somewhat he now knew that he was on, he somewhat was on a team of Sasuke and Sakura, and though there were only 3 teams left, Team 7, 8 and 10, and though Naruto was still wondering, and of course still hoping that his sensei was Kakashi, and though somewhat, seeing as all the teams went in kind of somewhat like numbered order, so Team 1 came first, Team 1 sensei came first, then 2, 3, 4, so on. So the next person to walk in would clearly be Team 7 sensei, believed, and so next person to walk in would be a man with a similarly scruffy beard and a cigarette in his mouth. The next person in straight after would be a somewhat female that clearly almost wanted to somewhat be a prostitute now to it somewhat think. And the next person to be would be who he somewhat hoped to Kami was his sensei, Kakashi Hatake, the silver-haired somewhat shinobi, or the somewhat shinobi of 1,000 jutsus, copycat Kakashi. And so though the similarly somewhat smoky person with the cigarette in his mouth would simply go, well, somewhat in which order should we kind of somewhat saying, should we do it by somewhat our teams like everyone else has been doing, from Team 7s to Team 8, 7, 8 and 10, or 10, 8 and 7. Kakashi would go, why don't we do it in the way we somewhat walked in? We seem to be in that order anyway. The person somewhat amused, kind of somewhat look, and you nod as he'd step forward as go, I am Asuma Saratobi, Team 10's sensei. And he'd state somewhat his likes, somewhat his, a bit about him, so a like, a dislike, and a dream slash goal for the future. The somewhat red-eyed girl would then go next, woman, and would state that her name was Kurenai Yuhi, whatever, Kurenai, and she'd obviously do the same, and Naruto was just happy. That was Team 10, Team 8, Team 7, and Kakashi could see, or at least somewhat he could see while Naruto was hiding it. Kakashi could still see that Naruto was just fighting for that. He was with his somewhat brother figure in a way, and yeah, both Kakashi and Naruto kind of looked at each other like a, kind of brotherly kind of somewhat relationship, or brotherly / sisterly relationship, due to Naruto's kind of somewhat develop, or at least Naruto's kind of feminine development, due to kind of mana and his somewhat chromosome somewhat being XXY. Yeah, though it was only from somewhat a magic name in which it would be somewhat revealed that most men actually are born with a XXY, which was kind of surprising to him, and she'd kind of explained that that's why most men today don't really seemingly have beards and kind of somewhat struggle to grow beards, at least somewhat in Konoha. And yeah, so in that spine that did kind of make sense, as after all, females didn't grow beards at all, now did they? And yeah, so I guess the somewhat, or at least the Y just somewhat came along, and yeah, so would he still be a boy, or would he be a girl, or would he be somewhat both? And if he were to ejaculate in the bath, could he somehow get himself pregnant? Or would a vagina even develop? If not, then yeah, it would just be unsure. And anyway, though, of course, though somewhat after that, Kakashi be the last one to introduce himself, would also be the one to break the news that they weren't actually somewhat officially getting yet. Though a lot of them would look shocked, and Naruto would somewhat look shocked, though would also realise that it did kind of slightly make sense. Naruto isn't still all that smart, but he is somewhat, at least better than his canon counterpart. Yeah. Anyway, so after that, the team, or at least the teams, would then go their separate ways to kind of somewhat get to more know their sensei prior to the test, to see if they would become official Genins. And yeah, though Naruto definitely obviously need to introduce himself to Kakashi, but for the sake of it, pretty much. And yeah, so they would seemingly kind of somewhat like in canon. Of course, Naruto's one would be somewhat different, though I'm not really going to say it because yeah, anyway, though after that, 2 weeks would sort of go by. During those 2 weeks, or at least during the first week, Kakashi somewhat trained Team 7 purely. After that, they then started taking D-rank missions, in which the kind of team kind of stopped, or at least didn't really act like a team. Also, wait, but what about that? How did they pass? Well, Kakashi had decided to come up on time. What? Kakashi came on time? Wait, Kakashi came on time, yes. Quite simply because, someone knew, or at least someone that had warned him, or at least someone had warned him once that coming late he would do something. Kakashi didn't really, he did for a while, but eventually kind of thought Naruto probably forgot, and yeah, so he came 3 hours late once, and well, Naruto decided to turn him into a female. And yeah, of course, having somewhat mana, he'd, of course, he'd changed them down to the somewhat DNA level, the chromosome level. So when somewhat it was kind of quickly finished, Kakashi, somewhat everything that Kakashi had from either, well, not really hair length, that was overall the same, but breasts, hips, bat size, and that would all be down to what Kakashi would have had if he was naturally born female. And yeah, though Naruto did also add a slight extra bit, which was somewhat making Kakashi or at least female Kakashi, somewhat horny, which pretty much just meant that Kakashi had kind of a somewhat desire, a somewhat, at least initially small desire to just have sex, of course. And yeah, by Naruto, of course, only wanted the punishment to last 24 hours, a whole day, and which it did, and Naruto did release it. With Kakashi just, or at least somewhat by that point, somewhat nearing the point of where he'd and almost somewhat ended up with, so Kakashi's almost at the point of where he just would have somewhat went off and had sex with a just man to get release from the literal kind of pleasure. Though how Naruto knew how to do it, well, he kind of accidentally caused that to himself once. So yeah, he never had sex with anyone, luckily, but he did very much was highly horny for some time. And yeah, up until he somewhat released the jutsu, well, not jutsu, released the spell, and yeah, cancelled the spell, and yeah, anyway, so yeah, since then Kakashi decided to somewhat come very much always on time, because Naruto had warned him that if he does come late again, the punishment would be a lot worse, and he knew Naruto wasn't joking around, and he couldn't even fathom would somewhat that being worse, so become a similarly mother. How the heck would he do it? He didn't know, but Naruto pretty much was a minor user, or pretty much magic user / mage, so in a way Kakashi thought Naruto could do really almost anything. And yeah, so it ended up coming early, which meant they had about 4 hours. In other words, he stopped it at 12 o'clock, like he would in canon. So they would have one extra kind of hour and a half. Well, no, I think canon only had an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours. So this would be 4 hours. So they did eventually start working as a team, in which Kakashi did end up passing them for the fact that even though they didn't get the powers, they did work as a team. And they go back to present time. And yeah, Kakashi, or at least, yeah, so due to the fact they didn't receive any training, because they weren't working as a team, they, or at least somewhat on their kind of third mission for the day, they showed some amount of teamwork, and Kakashi gave them a small amount of training. So their next mission, the next day, they did the full mission, teamwork, and they got training, better training. And well, yeah, they pretty much, Kakashi was like, if you pretty much somewhat without words, if you want me to train you, you're just gonna have to work as a team. And yeah, and so they kind of somewhat did. And yeah, this would be somewhat about the end somewhat of the week. And yeah, Naruto was kind of, Naruto, or at least somewhat Sasuke and Sakura, he somewhat dismissed them for the day, as though Kakashi would somewhat look at Naruto, and he could see Naruto looked kind of undecisive. And yeah, though it'd go somewhat go, what's up, Naruto? It seems like you've got something on your mind you're not sure about. Naruto would go, well, I just, should I tell them what? Yeah, he'd something musing. Naruto would go, something, you know, about like to choose magic or that, and Kakashi go, I think you'd be better off someone just telling them all three things. All three? Now to now be confused. They only knew of two. His kind of female growth body is somewhat more feminine body in which he's hiding due to somewhat the kind of, you know, his jumpsuit being very much baggy enough to hide his calves, and also a bound up chest, and his mana. You can actually just point at his somewhat Naruto's stomach, or well, yeah, where his stomach would be under the jacket and top. Naruto would kind of somewhat look down and would go, oh, right, the fox Jinchuriki thing. And yeah, the guy should somewhat just nod. Yeah, I think he'd just be somewhat better off kind of telling them, maybe not the fox yet, but I do believe that you should tell your, you know, somewhat the two of them, somewhat all of, you know, that in kind of time. Though if you now to just somewhat sign this guy, I don't know, like what would they think of you? I don't know, Naruto, but you are somewhat you know. They may be shocked at first, but give them time and they will accept you. They will realise that you are still you know, knowing that doesn't change who you are. As I somewhat kind of said when you first seemingly started, when you first told me and showed me, you kind of, well, not really showed me, but kind of revealed to me that you were, you know, you somewhat grown up feminine due to somewhat mana. Or somewhat mana that I somewhat told you I could care less if you grew a somewhat a vagina, or you just somewhat, or well, yeah, you just turned completely female and you could have somewhat you know, get pregnant, and that I wouldn't care. I'd still see you as Naruto. I'd still love you as my somewhat kind of brother slash sister, well, it's somewhat in that way. And yeah, Naruto would get a slight blush, but would somewhat just nod. And as I also somewhat said, I could care less, even if you have a sort of pussy and a penis. I could care less, Naruto. You are who you are. Everyone is unique in their own way. Heck, you are even more unique. You know, everyone else has got chakra. You have mana. You can use all your mana and still be alive. I can use up all my chakra and be 6 foot under. So, yeah, I'd say in a way you got, but yeah. Anyway, and yeah, though not to get a nice line somehow, though, so still I don't know. Plus, I don't really know. Should I tell the old man? I should go. Well, I don't see why not. I can somewhat understand why you haven't told him yet. After all, the less of the people that know, the better, and the less of the chance of it getting out. But eventually, it will get out, and yeah. Naruto would somewhat just nod, and yeah, though after a bit more thinking, and Kakashi putting his hand on somewhat his shoulder, telling him that he somewhat didn't somewhat can, you know, he'd be with him no matter what if, and yeah. And Naruto would just kind of thank him for that, and after again somewhat think for a bit, he would then somewhat ask him if he'd be, or somewhat if he'd come with him to somewhat tell, you know, to somewhat be there to kind of act as a support for him, so he could tell somewhat his and of his kind of body feminine development. And Kakashi would just nod, and from there seconds would go by as Kakashi would strengthen them over, though a couple of seconds would go by after that as they would, well, more so Naruto would kind of get banned from the near instant kind of sort of appearance, more so the kind of speed. Yeah, so it was a speed-based transport movement-based jutsu. Anyway, and yeah, from somewhat there, they're going. Naruto would kind of somewhat show he was in more or less turning his clothes kind of into a, or at least, so I did take off his top, his jacket and his top, which would leave bandages, and which he was meant to be obviously somewhat concerned, though Naruto would kind of somewhat calm down. He'd then take off his sandals, shinobi sandals, and some trousers, revealing his boxes, and from that he then transformed his, well, those his boxes into somewhat swim shorts, though it looked more like a actual female bikini than anything, showing just kind of almost how small his penis and balls had gotten. And yeah, and also obviously somewhat a bikini top, as he did have breasts and E cup sides, though he was on the larger A cup, still A cup. Anyway, and yeah, though he was something to be somewhat surprised, though after a bit of talking he would call in, or at least his Zanbu were already somewhat left, so he was going to kind of ask one of his zombies to go get the Zanbu in which someone Naruto had originally met for some of the kind of medical examination. Did not, and a couple of seconds later said Zanbu Konorichi medical need would arrive, literally just getting back to Konoha 2 hours ago from a mission, luckily. Yeah, though, so after walking in and being somewhat surprised as Naruto had from that had changed clothes, or at least saying somewhat had taken back his clothes from Kakashi, though had decided to somewhat wear some just feminine clothing for just somewhat the sake of it, more or less because it kind of just fit him obviously somewhat naturally better than the male clothes. And yeah, anyway, though after the magazine someone checked them out, she did notice one thing, but it really wasn't much in somewhat her mind / eyes, and yeah, so she'd somewhat tell Naruto that no internal feminization sort of happened / a kind of somewhat say the seemingly kind of the redevelop of a somewhat uterus, nothing like that had happened yet seemingly. Indeed, she'd also told Naruto, and Kakashi, that Naruto also had somewhat, healthy breast growth and healthy breasts like any other normal 12-year-old kind of teenage somewhat cow. And yeah, anyway, after that, yeah, though 2 more weeks would go by, and while Naruto still kind of hadn't told Team 7, or well, in others, Sasuke and Sakura, of his somewhat magic, somewhat magic and or body was more easy to hide because he could just do a transformation and somewhat be done for a while. Sure, it would constantly drain some amount of mana, but hey, at least it somewhat not that you would have to deal with breasts and that. But though of course the second he did cancel out the spell, if his breast had say grown to a B, or God forsake a somewhat C or even a D, obviously the sudden extra weight from being flat / A would obviously cause a massive imbalance for him. And yeah, so he kind of didn't want to, because Hazen had asked him why he didn't do that, and he stated the exact sort of reason that. And yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Though it'd be the day before the simply A rank mission, that being the Land of Waves, though C rank would end up as an A, of course, as we know. And yeah, though Naruto would kind of somewhat look at Kakashi and would kind of whisper to Kakashi that he kind of now wants to tell him, he'd ask, wants to tell them what, and he'd say, my unique chakra issue. Got, right. And yeah, and sort of nod as you'd call Sasuke and Sakura over, as you'd state that Naruto has something to tell them. They would be somewhat kind of interested and confused, as obviously Kakashi's trained them, but not really in chakra, really. So they were interested, because was now could Naruto not use chakra, and first thing he'd say, well, that would somewhat remind them of somewhat, or at least somewhat the day, when he'd kind of told Iruka that he'd somewhat, or at least done that at home, and that, and the fact had somewhat watched over him. They would nod, he'd tell them that it was a lie, and that whilst he did have an inner energy, it wasn't chakra. They'd look at him, and Sakura would ask, what do you mean? It would have to be chakra. There was no other type of sort of inner energy, right? Kakashi would go, well, somewhat chakra is just a combination of physical and mental energy, which I sort of part of the somewhat yin and yang, though different. And yeah, though there is actually an energy that predates chakra in Richard Shock, both Sasuke and Sakura, and it's actually somewhat what the somewhat chakra or the network is, or somewhat. Wait, so you're saying somewhat Naruto's got this energy, in which Kakashi would nod, and she, yeah, and somewhat did look at Naruto, and Naruto would kind of somewhat quietly somewhat state it is some magic. They would kind of go, what? And Sakura would kind of somewhat, you'd state it slightly louder, and Kakashi would somewhat kind of say, as though Sakura would kind of somewhat clench her fist, so she'd go, damn it, Naruto, back up, just say it already. And Naruto would go, fine, it's magic. He'd kind of just say, and they would just stare at him. Sasuke and Sakura would just stare at him, though somewhat almost disbelievingly, and they would look at Kakashi, and Richard nod, well, go, it's classified as magic, though it is actually called mana. But yeah, mana, yes, what Naruto has, and what you have, or what's actually called a mana network, though due to somewhat the fact that we can use chakra. Well, yeah. Anyway, though pretty much when, or at least somewhat chakra, or at least, well, how there's seemingly a somewhat similarly spiral on everybody's somewhat chakra, in everybody's chakra network there's a spiral that seemingly, somewhat goes out the paper and spirals around and then connects to the heart, which then obviously goes to the rest of the chakra network, in which somewhat does not. Of course, that spiral isn't really in use, if not kind of just a part that increases our overall somewhat reserve a bit, which I'd kind of somewhat nod. Well, in actuality, it's something that pulls in kind of somewhat mana is the combination of kind of somewhat nature's energy or essence in a way, and his own spiritual / physical energy. We're not quite sure which one yet, but pretty much one of his inner energies, probably the physical based energy, stamina wise. So it's probably physical energy and the nature's energy mixed together within the spiral. The spiral brings in the nature energy, mixes them together, and thus goes to the heart for the heart to just pump it around. So the heart just acts like a pump in a mana network, whilst in a chakra network it is the thing that creates. It is the part in which creates and distributes or pumps the chakra around the body. And yeah, you actually obviously say that. And yeah, they would be surprised, and so, well, yeah, those Sakura got them. Though Sakura then sort of asked them, why doesn't Naruto have a wand or something like that? Naruto would just kind of switch up and go, Sakura, why don't you have a wand? She go, it's well, it's because it's Sakura, so it's an inner energy. Would it wand store something better help channel chakra? She'd kind of she couldn't really answer that, would it? Yeah, Kakashi would snort at that, and he'd shake his head, though he'd state, no, pretty much, or at least our version of a wand would be our hand signs. Wait, so then wouldn't that mean, yes, somewhat sealess, or at least or a sealess jutsu, so a jutsu that doesn't use hand signs, or a person that can do sort of jutsu seamlessly, is the equivalent of a sort of mana user being able to cast spells without a wand or something like that, anything to aid in mana control. And yeah, and though, so from there they've sort of talked for a bit, and yeah, though after some bit, and Kakashi warning the two that if they tell anyone, they will be killed by him personally or the Hokage. They would go and, well, yeah, Sasuke would just kind of go H, and though Sakura would be the one someone got a pen, though both would go somewhat pale, and Sakura would just nod up and down rapidly, though, yeah. It made so much sense why Naruto was never really kind of there simply for chakra control exercises, and yeah, though those should be confused on why Naruto wasn't allowed to spawn, which Naruto shrugged out and would go, don't know. And yeah. Anyway, though somewhat after that, next time would go down, and well, lo and behold, after retrieving Tora, somewhat Naruto would ask them if they could get a harder mission. Of course, somewhat he was in somewhat knew what Naruto was hinting about, and he'd look over to Kakashi and go, well, Kakashi, do you believe that they are ready for a harder mission? Kakashi would look over his team, and they had been somewhat working as a team a lot better, and yeah, whilst it did take them a bit to accept that Naruto did have mana/magic. And yeah, though, of course, now they somewhat have, and they don't really care heck, you know, and of course, whilst their general training ground is Training Ground 7, Kakashi has taken them further, kind of somewhat actually outside of the village, so that Naruto can show them without any eyes really watching, so at him, so that he could actually fly around, and he's even sort of cast the spell so that even they could fly around, though it found very weird and very, very stamina draining. The reason why is because, yeah, Naruto was still trying to figure out how to actually have the spell pull their chakra and not directly their stamina, as their chakra would give them a much longer flight time, though it would also be more deadlier, and yeah. Anyway, though, well, yeah. Anyway, though, so oh yeah, they would call somewhat the not Gato, Kazma's initial sort of reaction to the team would be pretty much like in canon. And well, yeah, from there Kakashi dismissed them, telling them to somewhat arrive at the front gates at 8 the next morning. They would not, and they would all, or it seems, somewhat leave, though Kakashi and Naruto would arrive sort of at training grounds, having to do some just training. And yeah, with that, guys, I'm going to leave this part here. So if you have enjoyed this part, do tell me in the comments down below. Sorry for this being somewhat shorter. I would have preferred this to be an hour long, but yeah, I've kind of have to go to bed because I've got some things I have to do tomorrow. I have to be up early, or at least earlier than what I generally up at. Anyway, so yeah, guys, hope you guys have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whenever you watch this, and good bye.